Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 10.
He said, I went too far. I took it too far. And we couldn't agree with him more.
Tonight, deputies say a girl killed in Citra was just 3 years old, and she was disciplined by a man dating her mother. Why the 911 call has detectives outraged. New details on a teacher accused of supplying a student with drugs and alcohol for sex. News 6 uncovers why she has been warned, even disciplined before, about communications with students and even a fellow teacher's husband.
And I have people all the time, they come and they're like, $1.99 for a mango, and they walk out. God willing, I hope that the prices do go down.
She says tariffs have left her mom and pop grocery store struggling. Now she hopes a Supreme Court setback for Trump tariffs will help her and customers with her store. But right now, we start tonight at 10 with new details and also unanswered questions about a 16-year-old gunned down by a deputy inside of a Walmart. We learned customers with their own guns drawn backed that deputy up. Good evening, I'm Troy Campbell. If you remember, we brought you this shooting itself as breaking news this time last night. Then Osceola Sheriff revealed his deputy was working off-duty security in the Walmart when he claims he saw a shoplifter with a gun out. Well, tonight I am just back from that Walmart center in Cypress Parkway in Point Siena, right near Point Siena Town Center. I'm looking into new video of moments after that deadly shooting and how Walmart normally handles shoplifting. We're blurring the body of the 16-year-old shot and killed by a deputy inside the Walmart Supercenter in Point Siena. The witness recording this video Thursday, moments after the fatal shooting, now circulating on social media. In the video, you can also see two other customers of the Walmart with guns drawn, ready to assist the deputy.
One of the gentlemen took off running, had a gun in his hand. And with that said, our deputy fired downrange at the suspect and took him out. He had a gun in his hand running through the store.
Osceola County Sheriff Christopher Blackman says the off-duty deputy was working security at the Walmart when a loss prevention officer told him three guys were walking towards the exit with merchandise they didn't pay for. As he approached the group, the deputy says he saw the 16-year-old holding a gun, running towards customers.
Can you say if the person who had the gun had pointed it at an officer?
He had a gun in his hand running with it in the store.
Was he pointing it at the deputy?
Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
We checked Walmart's policy when it comes to shoplifting and uncovered only a store manager or a member of their asset protection team can surveil, investigate, or detain someone suspected of shoplifting. Most importantly, before acting, the suspected shoplifter must be seen passing the last point of sale, which is, of course, meaning walking past the register. However, their policy states if the suspect becomes violent, the employee must disengage, and adds if the suspected shoplifter has a weapon, quote, the suspect must not be approached, and instead, security should contact law enforcement. When it comes to firearms, Walmart says, we request that customers no longer openly carry firearms inside Walmart unless they are authorized law enforcement. And we are still waiting to learn the identity of the 16-year-old who was killed. Deputies say the two others who were with him have been identified and have not been arrested on any charges at this hour. We will continue to keep you updated. And breaking now at 10, a driver was hit and killed a woman riding a bicycle and then just kept going. Now, Eustis police hope you can help make an arrest in this case. Police tell us the woman killed was just 48-year-old Tracy Shivanen. Early this morning, she was biking on Lakeshore Drive heading south when she was hit from behind near the Eustis Road intersection. So far, police aren't even sure which kind of car struck her. Shivanen died not long after impact. Now, if you can help, you're asked to call Eustis Police or Crime Line 1-800-423-TIPS. And of course, you can always remain anonymous. Tragic and shocking. That's how the Marion County Sheriff's Office described what happened Thursday when a 3-year-old girl lost her life. Now, tonight, we know the man locked up was dating the girl's mother. We told you last night deputies got a call about an unresponsive child at a home along Northeast 44th Avenue in Citra, which is in northern Marion County. Now, they say when they got there, Jerome Coombs, he was trying to leave. He was taking care of several children at the home, ranging from ages of 1 to 9 years old. Deputies say Coombs admitted to punishing the 3-year-old while her mom was out running errands. According to the detective, he tied her up to prevent her from reaching into her diaper and then beat her.
He said, I went too far. I took it too far. And we couldn't agree with him more.
Now, deputies say Coombs called the mother, saying the girl wasn't moving. But now, according to deputies, it took another 40 minutes before someone called 911.
So 40 minutes to call 911. We teach 4-year-olds how to call 911 in an emergency. And I can tell you, again, as a lieutenant, I don't understand. As a father, I have less understanding as to why, if you're told your child is unresponsive, is all she's been told, it took 40 minutes to call 911. I don't have an answer for that. That's a question that only she can answer.
The sheriff's office says it's looking into whether the girl's mom knew about the abuse. The report says one of the children at the homes told deputies Coombs has abused them before. Now, Coombs is being held without bond for aggravated child abuse. He could face more charges once the medical examiner determines the exact cause of death. She was arrested this week on student drug charges of supplying a student with drugs. Now tonight, News 6 confirms a teacher locked up in Seminole County had been warned and disciplined before about how she communicated with students. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, actually got a hold of personnel records that claim Mackenzie McLean even sent nude photos to another teacher's husband.
Mackenzie Lane McLean.
From the classroom to in custody.
They're basically sex allegations.
According to an arrest report, a former student of Mackenzie McLean's at Crooms Academy says she groomed him by buying him and his classmates alcohol, weed, and other substances and used him sexually. McLean's other indiscretions documented during her time at Seminole County Public Schools are not criminal in nature, but her personnel file shows she did violate school policy. Let's start here at Crooms, where she taught up until this week. In 2020, the principal sent this letter to McLean calling her behavior unacceptable. These are messages the district says she sent to students on Discord about another student. One reads, "He is the perfect example of what's wrong with society." Another, "I kicked blank off cheer last year." The principal warned McLean to only use approved methods of communication and not to message students overnight or talk about students. But McLean's personnel file shows her behavior was called into question years before that when she worked here at Sanford Middle School. In 2011, the Office of Professional Practices investigated McLean after it was discovered she inadvertently used the district's email system to send 2 nude pictures to the husband of another teacher. Records show McLean was suspended without pay for 1 day and transferred here to Jackson Heights Middle School.
Oh, wow, that's awful, absolutely awful.
For parents at Pickup, the shock has been spreading.
It was one of her teachers.
She was my teacher my freshman year I went here. I was bewildered.
I reached back out to SCPS again today, and they tell me McLean is still on leave pending the outcome of this investigation. Earlier this week, a spokesperson told me any behavior that jeopardizes student safety will not be tolerated. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
The big story impacting all of us. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled 6-3 today. President Trump's sweeping tariffs on foreign goods are unconstitutional. The president, though, not giving up, vowing to use a different law to add 10% across-the-board tariffs. Up in the air, what happens to some $200 billion the government has taken in tariffs, now declared illegal? Stock markets closed up on the news. The big winners were automakers hit hard by those tariffs like GM and Ford. I asked Brian Riley from the Free Trade Initiative what we can expect from the markets moving forward.
Looking at the markets today, I know a lot of people may have expected a big change one way or another. It didn't really have a huge impact on the markets unless you were, say, an automaker. Do you think that those prices were already baked in? Is that why we didn't see a big change?
I think most people expected this decision, and so the prices were more or less baked in. But I do think what it shows is some of the people who were really big supporters of the tariffs, from President Trump on down, said, "Oh, this is going to be economic catastrophe. It's going to be terrible if the Supreme Court strikes them down." And it turns out, at least so far, that hasn't been the case.
The president used sweeping tariffs, trying to get countries to negotiate new trade deals. Today, justices made clear the president needs congressional approval. I asked Colin Grabo with the Cato Institute if it all comes down to what we learned in school.
When we all went to school, we all understand Congress has the power of the purse. Is that what this comes down to? Is that the crux of this Supreme Court decision today?
This idea that he can impose sweeping or taxes at his whim is just, that's not found in U.S. law. So I think that's the bottom line here.
So you're probably asking, what does all this mean for me in my pocketbook? Mariel Castleberry community correspondent Alex Cook spoke to the manager of a small family-owned grocery store. She hopes the ruling brings relief to customers struggling to afford food.
For Castleberry Meat and Produce, this isn't about policy. This is about survival. This small family-owned market has served the community for years, but they say tariffs have caused them to raise their prices on imported produce. This means less customers and sometimes wasted food. With the news that the Supreme Court overturned some of those tariffs, they now have a glimmer of hope that things might get better.
Prices have gone up a lot, especially our produce, our meat, anything coming from Brazil, from Canada. The tariffs have, increased a lot of our prices, which makes it really hard on us, because we're such a small neighborhood market.
Yenny Bisono manages the store. Her grandmother owns it. She says every week is a struggle to stay afloat. The tariffs haven't helped.
Sometimes people don't want to pay those high prices, and that makes it harder on us. Our sales go down, and, that's not fun for anybody.
She says some items don't sell at all, including these mangoes imported from Brazil.
They come from Brazil, and I have people all the time. They come and they're like, $1.99 for a mango, and they walk out. They don't buy the mangoes, and, sometimes they go bad, and that doesn't help us.
Now with the Supreme Court overturning some of those tariffs, she's hoping for relief.
God willing, I hope that the prices do go down. That would be really good for my store and for the community as well.
With President Trump announcing he has other ways to impose tariffs, the future is still uncertain. But I asked Bisono about the possibility of refunds on the tariffs they've already paid, which the Supreme Court now says were illegal.
If they give us refunds, that'd be amazing. But if not, I'm just praying that tariffs do go down, that over time, the business will continue to pick up.
She says anything that will help lower costs will help her business stay open and help customers face less pressure at the register. I'm your Castleberry community correspondent, Alex Cook, News 6.
Keep up with those tariff twists and turns on clickorlando.com. And for a daily conversational look at breaking news stories shaping up around Central Florida, join us for News 6 at 3 weekdays. I'll see you on Monday.
If you're thinking about doing yard work this weekend, you'll want to hear this first.
There's people that have yard debris that normally they would burn. Probably don't want to keep that piled up around your house.
How you can get rid of yard waste with burn bans in place, and where the dry weather is making things worse in one local county.
Yeah, that drought situation going to get worse over this weekend as rain chances are limited. The breeze is going to kick up as well. We're talking near record heat, potentially breaking those records. We're going to have your full forecast and talk about when we'll be waking up in the 30s again, about 10:19.
But first, in an area known to flood, you think a project digging new ditches would bring people together.
Well, it's a waste of money. As soon as it rains, these ditches are going to be full of water.
I don't care about him. He's on the other side of the street for us.
Instead, why it's pitting neighbor against neighbor. That's next. You're watching News 6 at 10 live on a Friday night, covering Tildenville, UCF, and all of Central Florida.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Central Florida Honda Dealers.
It's a project aimed at improving drainage, easing flooding woes. Instead, it had pitted neighbors against Brevard County and neighbors against neighbors. Your Titusville community correspondent James Sparvero shows us why digging ditches is also digging up drama.
It's a drainage project that some people think is not necessary. Carl here on South Fork Road is looking at all this construction equipment digging ditches. Carl, what are they doing and why are you not in favor of it, sir?
Well, it's a waste of money. Okay, right now we're in a drought and you can see they've dug below the water table. As soon as it rains, these ditches are going to be full of water.
And as soon as I got here to South Fork Road, I could see the big construction equipment that Carl was telling me about. I'm watching them dig more of these ditches right now. So what would you like to see the county do?
What I want to see happen, quite honestly, is they fill this back in and put it back the way it was.
The way it was across the street wasn't okay for Carl's neighbor, Gary.
Last time we had a big rain, it took us 7 days to pump the water.
He's glad the county's doing the project. Your neighbor, Carl, who I talked to, he said 30 years ago when he moved in and it was flat, there wasn't any problem with flooding.
What can I say? 30 years ago when we moved in, we've always had a problem on this side of the street. I don't care about him. He's on the other side of the street for us.
When I asked the county for a comment, it said it's not getting in the middle of any neighbors' disputes, but told me the project will make flooding less severe. In case you were wondering if the ditches are on anyone's property, the county says they're on its right-of-way. Well, as neighbors are pitted against neighbors here, Carl told me next he'll be speaking out at Tuesday night's county commission meeting. That'll be his chance to address North Brevard Commissioner Katie Delaney, who I talked to back in the fall following Titusville's record flooding. We'll let you know what's said Tuesday and if it has any impact on this project. In Brevard County, I'm your Titusville community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
And if you're thinking about doing yard work this weekend, you'll want to hear this first. We're still so dry. Flagler just extended a county-wide burn ban for another week. Just south, Volusia County and cities like DeLand also have burn bans in place. Your community correspondent, Molly Reed, spoke with Volusia's fire chief.
This was probably the strongest, hardest winter we've had in a long time.
And that means a lot of dead, dry plants.
You know, you probably don't want to keep that piled up around your house.
Driving around DeLand, I found a lot of piles in yards waiting for pickup. Yard waste pickup here happens only once a week.
There's people that have yard debris that normally they would burn, and right now the only thing we could tell them is take it to landfill, take it to transfer stations.
If you miss pickup day, firefighters want you to take your yard debris to the landfill yourself to protect yourself and your neighbors. Of course, the burn ban also means no open flame grills, no bonfires. Don't throw your cigarettes out the window and watch sparks closely.
We're starting to see some on the west side, but predominantly the northwest end of the county is the driest right now.
Chief King says they are amping up their responses, knowing how quickly small fires can grow and turn dangerous right now.
We're sending extra tenders, brush trucks, so right now we're actually what we would say in a level 2 response, where we're sending double what we would to a normal.
Anyone caught violating the burn ban can be fined $500 or even sent to jail for 60 days. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Molly Reed, News 6.
All right, now meteorologist Jonathan Kakis is here. Now, we know our weather is going to be dry, but is it going to be changing as well?
Big changes, yeah. So tomorrow, again, today we're near record heat. We broke some records across the board. Tomorrow, we're going to be back in that ballpark, and then a huge crash in the temperatures behind a cold front. Here's a live look outside Port Canaveral, Brevard County right now. Air temperatures very warm out there. It's very comfortable if you like it on the warmer side. Temperatures back in the low 70s under a mainly clear sky. The breeze is at about 10 miles an hour out of the south and west, pumping in that warmth. We're back to 64 in Wildwood, upper 60s in Bushnell, 68 degrees in Groveland tonight. Now, tomorrow morning, we're waking up to air temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Average is in the low 50s, so we're running about 10-ish degrees above where we would typically start on a late February morning. And that's going to equate to potentially breaking records on the warm side of things. Watch out for a little bit of fog early on. Rain chances, though, staying painfully low, not only for tomorrow, but really for the next 7 days. Only decent shot, and decent is a relative word, is coming on Sunday. I'll show you that in a second. Air temperatures getting back into the upper 80s. That is record territory for tomorrow. 88 the forecast for Orlando. 88 is the record. 87 in Sanford. 87 is our record, too. 84 in Daytona Beach. Again, we can get very close, if not even exceeding that. I think there's an outside shot that we do touch 90 degrees tomorrow as well. Now, the average first time that happens is April 8th. So if that were to occur tomorrow, we're way ahead of schedule on that. The earliest occurrence on record of 90 degrees is way back in 1935. That was on February 10th. The second earliest is February 24th. So if we were to do that, it would be pretty remarkable. The last time we were at 90 degrees in the Orlando area was October 8th. Cold front coming. That's going to take all this warmth away. Thursday 8 o'clock on our Sunday morning. And that's what I mean, a decent shot. That's about it. Scattered downpours in the mix, pushing south and east of I-4. That's 10, 11 o'clock on your Sunday morning. And then you see the drier air come down, and that is the concern. On top of the warmth tomorrow, the air gets really dry. In extreme cases, we may be able to pick up 1/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch. I think some of that's overdone. If you get stuck under one of those downpours, there's a shot to get 1/4 of an inch, but that will be few and far between and would not help the drought situation. What will make things worse, like last Sunday, how ahead of that front got windy, we're going to really get things windy Sunday afternoon behind the front. So if we do have any brush fires that ignite, it is going to be very windy, and it's going to just make things harder to get extinguished. Orlando City opener on Saturday. It's going to be warm, potentially record warmth, 88 degrees, 40% shot for those scattered downpours. Again, back to the upper 70s for highs. Much colder on Monday. There's the drop, 30s and 40s. Highs Monday and Tuesday struggle to get out of the 50s. Really cold on Tuesday. Some of us around the freezing mark. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, I've got a great lineup. The weather's going to be nice and I have great outdoor options. I'm here at the Central Florida Zoo and Botanical Gardens, where Brews Around the Zoo will be happening all weekend. I spoke to the CEO, Richard Glover, about what you can expect.
These are 21 and up events. We'll have live music. There's going to be a lot going on here, animal encounters, a lot of things to see and do. It's just an atmosphere you don't usually get to walk around and drink in.
It runs all weekend and tickets are available for purchase online. Support conservation and have some fun at the Eco Expo at Hickory Point Park in Tavares. Enjoy hands-on activities, nature art, and a critter corner with raptors, bats, turtles, and more. Celebrate Scottish heritage all weekend in Mount Dora at Donnelly Park and Elizabeth Evans Park. Enjoy live music, dancing, and authentic bites. Tickets are available online. Get ready for a high-energy night Saturday at 7:30 at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts. Experience the electric sounds of New Orleans-style jazz, funk, and soul with Trombone Shorty and the Orleans Avenue. Tickets can be purchased online. It'll be a great night on Saturday to catch the Orlando City soccer match at Inter & Co Stadium. It'll be a mild evening for kickoff as the Lions take on the Red Bulls. The first ever Florida Children's Book Festival is this weekend at Orlando Family Stage from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Meet authors, catch live readings, and shows. And if you have something fun happening next weekend, let me know. I've been getting so many fun events from viewers just like you. You could just head over to clickorlando.com or our new 6 app, just click Contact Us.
You can find all of tonight's stories plus breaking news on News 6 Plus. It's free to download on your smart TV and your streaming device. We'll be back at 11. Good night.